Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host who bleeds purple and gold, Isaac here. So, I'm going to be reacting to a couple of news that happened later. With a couple of things. Basically, some good news and some bad news at the same time. So, basically, the off season has already begun. I know there's a lot of topics that are to cover, which we'll get to those and certainly though, but um basically to start off with some bad news, I believe it was Monday and obviously the situation of Jordan Addison, where this dude, as talented as I said he was, he has had a history of stupidity during the off season, outside of the football world, where he's just been just doing stupid stuff, where he would go fast, like speeding during in a city, and would get I forgot what the other one was. I think it was driving. It had to do another thing with driving, where he was asleep on the wheel, and then he would, and I believe this was during the Browns game in London, where he would drink and the coaches would bench him for a quarter or two, and they would bench him for just drinking. Okay, fine. It's another thing, to do it 3 times, but fourth, allegedly, for trespassing, I believe out in Florida, where he would just do some trespassing at 3, where you should be asleep, but I don't know basically what the charges are, and he got arrested for that, and they haven't originally pleaded him guilty or innocent yet. But for Jordan Addison, um I mean, like, to be stupid, like, to not learn your lesson the last 3 times and say, okay, you know what, those were dumb things that I did. I should not be doing this again. But as a professional football player, this is the example you're setting. That's inexcusable for a fourth time to do it in your 3 or 4 years here in Minnesota. You can't be doing stuff like this. It's not even like related to like your talent that you have, like the history of dropping passes that you have. This has nothing to do with that. Real life is another thing where you clearly don't have control over yourself for that reason. And if you're pleaded guilty, the Vikings should simply move on from you. It should not be worth the Vikings' time to have you being suspended 4 to 5 games a year, or a season, if you will. It should not be worth your time. It shouldn't be worth the Vikings' time to work on him. Basically say, okay, you got to stop doing this. But, no, it shouldn't be worth the Vikings' time, because I'm pretty sure they said it a ton of times and it keeps on happening. So, as much as I tried to defend him, I'm done doing it right here, man. You can't, because I've been saying, alright, give him another chance, to drop passes. Because even though he had drop passes, he still is a good football player, which I still stand by that, but in terms of him doing stupid stuff all the time, you can't keep on doing this. As a Vikings team, you need to cut or trade. I feel like the Vikings could trade him for a very good pick in free agency. Maybe I doubt for first, at the very least, a second round pick they could get out of Jordan Addison. Trade him for a wide receiver needy team, and if need be, you can make Jalen Naylor your wide receiver too, because he's been a lot more disciplined and is a better teammate example than Jordan Addison. So, I hate saying it, but the Vikings should simply move on from him. Simple. If it was maybe a misunderstanding and he was innocent, okay, fine, he can go back to Minnesota, but right now, I just don't trust him, really. So, basically, trade away with him. Some even better news today happened is the offensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings, Chris Kuper, has been fired on Friday. He is parting ways. He is no longer part of the Vikings organization. And to that I say, thank God that he is no longer part of it. And this was more of his coaching than it is players. Because when I say that, I'm talking about Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury, who we've criticized heavily. Even I've criticized him. And with their teams, they're doing pretty good to their respective teams. Garrett Bradbury with the Texans, Ed Ingram with the Seahawks. They are balling. And that tells me everything I need to know about Chris Kuper than it is the players. Because we can say, oh, well, players are bad in this and that, but when your coaching says everything and they're just talented players, that says a lot. So, thank God Chris Kuper is gone. I am so glad they are done with him. Am I disappointed they didn't fire KOC or Kwesi? Yes, I am disappointed, but this is a start at the very least. Because with a rookie quarterback, you can't continue to get him hurt where he's under pressure all the time. Because if he has a clean pocket, then it's a success. And the running backs have a lot of open holes to go through, so it is better off with them without Chris Kuper. And sure, the offensive line has been better than the previous three, but that does not mean that he gets credit for that. For Will Fries, for Donovan Jackson, for Ryan Kelly, no, absolutely not. Because backups, sure, maybe depth is needed, sure, but I think, though, the reason why most backups, Blake Brandel, Justin Skule, Michael Juergens, are terrible at their spots is because of the offensive line coach. And you need somebody who can do exactly that, who can just play any position and they would instantly do good. Would show them the right techniques, I would say. That's just it. I don't really know if I have any specific offensive line coaches that they should hire, but anybody that does not have a low standard for offensive line play, hire him. Whoever it is. I don't care who it is, just as long as it's not another Chris Kuper, I am good. Even if the offensive line is okay for the most part in the backup position, I'll be completely fine with it. We just need quality offensive line play at the best. But right now, thank God Chris Kuper is gone. There's been no other offensive changes. Mike Pettin retiring. Okay, fine, but that's the biggest news is Chris Kuper is no longer with the team. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you guys hit that like button, and as always, hit that subscribe button. Skull Vikings.